Hello and welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour on this December 4th, 2020. I'm your host, Andrew Barnes, here with our co-host and no special guest this week. So let us dive right into the introductions with my friend, Brad.
Hey everybody, my name's Brad Tilton. I am a developer advocate with the developer program here at ServiceNow. I've been with ServiceNow for about 4 years and been developing on the platform for about 12, and excited to get into our Twitter integration today.
Awesome. Thanks, Brad. And Santa Chuck.
Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. Hey, my name is Chuck Tomasi. I don't have a Santa beard, although this is the one time I wish I did. This would be appropriate for a long white beard. We'll have to see if we can get Brad to color his or something. But I've been with ServiceNow for about 10 years, customer for a couple of years before that. I think I forgot to mention my title is Senior Developer Advocate also.
Awesome. Thanks, Chuck. And I'm Andrew Barnes, also a developer advocate here at ServiceNow. I've been doing this for a little over 2 years at ServiceNow. Been in the eco space for a little over 6 years as a developer architect at a customer, multiple customers, and a partner doing implementations. And super excited to be here with y'all today, doing this live coding development on the stream today. Brad, what did you bring for beverage?
I have an Abita Office Party Holiday Stout. So I'm in the holiday spirit a little bit, at least.
You can't get much more appropriate than that.
A holiday stout. I like it. And what did you bring to the table, Chuck?
I have yet another Modelo. So yeah, nice dark beer. I wish I had some Mexican food.
Nice. And I have, let's see what we pulled out. Oh yeah, a Southern Tier Brewing Company. Pumpkin. So it's an Imperial Pumpkin Ale. I like it. I'm also not feeling the greatest today, so I have tea as well.
Oh, smart.
I think I'll be having more of the tea than the beer. So awesome. Thanks for joining us, everyone, in the YouTube. We are going to do some unscripted ServiceNow development today, just as you would as a ServiceNow developer in our ecosystem. So while we do some prep for these, like getting authentication keys when we need them, and reduce some of the noise and focus on what we're here to solve today. We didn't practice it. We didn't script it. This is just live development, and we also rely on you, the live commenters, to help us out of jams sometimes. So join us on this journey today. we are going to be doing some Twitter integrations today. So I know I've done this a few times before. And today, what we're going to be solving for, and I'll let Brad add, more to it because he'll be driving today, is we need to collect some Twitter data because one of the things that we have here in our developer program is our MVPs, and we love them the best. They're awesome. So our MVPs are awesome, and we've got the open nominations for next year's crowd. And the main thing about the nominations is really just uh, collecting all of your different data sources and tying them together so that we know that this community ID goes with this Twitter handle, goes with this LinkedIn ID, goes with this, because it's not always apparent, because your Twitter handle may have no relation to your actual real name. So you can find that on the developer site. That nomination form, developer.servicenow.com/blog.do. And thanks, Chuck. And as part of that, we collect that information and we see information about those nomination candidates, what they've been submitting from Twitter. So that's what we're here to do today, is collect 2020's data for all of these Twitter users that we want to focus in on. Brad, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. MVPs, we are anybody who submits themselves and provides a Twitter link. We are going to grab all of their tweets for the full year, so I did a little bit of pre-work to make sure that this was one, possible, and two, something that we might be able to actually do on the show. So I found an API that we'll use that's a little different than the out of the box. So we have a couple of Twitter integrations that you can get already through ServiceNow, and so we are going to build a net new integration using Integration Hub.
Awesome. So you want to dive in?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. I am sharing.
Sharing is caring, and it looks like you are sharing the developer blog. That is,
I am.
Our call for
Sneaky.
MVPs is up. Sneaky Brad.
Yeah. So before we get into how we collect this particular data for the developer MVPs, we actually have a couple of developer MVPs in the chat with Mark and Jace there, and so they can probably share a little bit more about being a developer MVP. But we have our call for candidates open right now. It's going to be open the whole month of December. And we've got some information in our developer MVP criteria post. But the submission process is detailed here. So go ahead, come to the blog, check it out. And if you're on the fence about whether or not, if you think, maybe I didn't do enough this year, go ahead and submit yourself as a candidate. We'd love, as many people as possible to do that. So we have a really good pool. And yeah, so that's how this starts. And then once you submit yourself, you end up with some of your data in an instance, and that's where we're going to start today. So
nice.
let's start with what.
So now we're going to drop into a ServiceNow instance, our favorite place to be.
That's right. Let's zoom in one time. All right, so I'm in an instance, and we've got, this is my dev instance for our, the instance where we're collecting all of our candidate data. And when you submit yourself, you end up creating a record that looks something like this. This is my really sad record because it only has my email and my Twitter handle. And I put some links in as I was doing testing. And then what we're going to end up doing is we're going to create records in this data collections table. So this table is going to hold lots of different data, not just Twitter data, but for now it's set up specifically for Twitter data, although I hope I have made it generic enough to where we'll be able to put other things in there as well. So we are going to hopefully be able to populate these fields with data from Twitter, and we'll have a record for each of my tweets from this year. So that's our goal by the end of the show, to have that in there, and then we can do stuff with that, based on tagging and things like that.
Nice.
Does this make sense to everyone?
Yep.
All right.
Makes sense to
so
me, but I've seen it before.
This profile was created through a catalog item. Is that what I'm guessing? Because it's got filter of variables.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's created through it's a record producer. But if you go to let's do that real quick. I don't want to waste too much time on this, but once you get a login, once you get a login, you're going to end up on this portal that is going to load.
Dun, dun, dun,
Great.
dun,
Take a drink.
dun, 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 dun.
So most people will not have a Meetup portal or platform view unless you're a Meetup organizer. But you'll click on MVP candidate submission, and then, if you don't have a profile yet, it'll redirect you to the record producer. And if you do have a profile, it will redirect you to this profile page, where you can come in and add more links and add more data. So that the important thing is when you go fill this out, it's okay if you don't get it completely filled out on the first time. It just needs to be completely filled out by the end of the month. But this is what it looks like for somebody coming in and filling it out. All right, so I'll talk real quick about there's two integrations. I wonder if I looked at both of them. So we have a spoke. There's a Twitter spoke, and there's a live code happy hour from last year, where the two of you guys and Dave did something with the Twitter spoke. So that the Twitter spoke is only for posting a tweet or media. So that doesn't really work for us. And then there's a Twitter integration with, I think it's pulling Twitter data in and then doing some PA stuff with it. And so that is there too. This is a long transaction. So that didn't work for us because I think the endpoint that it hits only gives you the last 7 days of Twitter data, and we want a full year.
And 2020 is a little bit longer than 7 days.
That's correct. Unfortunately,
it feels like more
7
than
years.
400 days.
2020 qualifies as 7 years.
All right, so we're not going to look at the plugins because that's past my threshold.
Yeah, that's past my waiting threshold too.
We're still going. So let's look at Twitter really quick. The API that we're going to want to use is this. Where is this? It's the historical tweets. This is okay. It's not going to show anything. It's this full archive API.
Yes. We like examples.
Yeah, so this is the API. I did have to do a little bit more setup in Twitter, where I had to create an environment, which is literally just clicking a button and naming it. So we have this environment here that I can use.
So you had to get a developer account and,
That's right.
and set up they call it an environment, but it's like a project.
Okay.
Yeah. So
in
this is
other
my
places like Google, they call that a project.
Yeah, this is my Twitter developer account. And so I created an app, and then in my app, I have this dev environment that is basically what gets used to search tweets. So there's some throttling on this and some limits around it for the free version, at least. So we're going to consume this API just to make sure that it worked and that my token, my bearer token, would work. I did do this in Postman earlier today, and it did work. But so we'll use that and create an integration hub action out of it.
And did you put your token in as an API key in the connection credential stuff?
I haven't done anything in an instance yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I think that is what we'll do. Put it in as an API.
You validated that your token works in Postman, but we haven't.
I wanted to save.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna save something to mess up on the show. So.
Yeah.
You got
And
this box of
authentication
Band-
is definitely a good spot.
Yep.
All right.
We got this box of Band-Aids. We need something to put it on.
All right. So we'll go. Oh, my plugin list loaded now.
I don't even remember what were you going to show there? The Twitter.
We
one
were
or
going to
something?
look at the two. Well, let's just. All right. So there's two. There's a PA, and then there's the spoke.
Okay, we got the spoke installed.
Yeah, I didn't install the PA on this instance. I had installed it on a PDI just to look at what it did. So yeah. So one of the interesting things is the PA integration does something fairly similar to what we want to do. It is it is limited in that it's using that specific API. But it's also pretty heavily scripted, and I think we may get away with writing, no script to very little script when we do it through integration hub, which would be kind of neat to see the difference.
My favorite.
So let's go ahead and open up Flow Designer.
I was talking to Josh Arias about that too, because next week's breakpoint is with him. And I said, remember when we used to do outbound REST messages and we'd have to script everything? And now you look at that and go, what was I doing? I don't ever want to do that again.
We should probably create a new app for our action. Let's do that.
Yeah. Just don't call it Twitter spoke.
Yeah. I will not call it Twitter spoke. What is the
studio?
Man.
Wow. Happy Friday to you.
Yeah, no kidding. I think I was looking for my company applications for some reason.
Testing your beer in Postman too?
Beer.
All right. Let's call it Twitter
Collector.
MVP spoke? Yeah, okay,
good.
Oh, there you go. Twitter get. Do you want to put
call
on there?
I mean, I guess we can put it in the name. It doesn't.
Yeah, because that helps you identify. Now, what do we do about that?
I'm gonna do this. Oh, come on.
Just take out, the underscore or something.
Yeah, that'll work. All right. So we've got my app. All right. I like Mark's comment about the downside of the employee instance, that you get the X_SNC spoke and it looks really official. I have found that too. Like, well, what am I doing here? Is this going to be something that gets used as an example? Or
still have grief every time I see the letters SNC. It's like, what's the C stand for?
Com.
We're not ServiceNow.com anymore. Haven't been for 10 years.
Yeah, so this is going to be
cookies. ServiceNow cookies.
That's what C stands for.
We had that last week or the week before when we were doing the command line stuff.
Say, should we call this
get archive? Get
tweets by user? I think is what we're going to end up doing with this action.
Sure.
I like a good descriptive name.
Yes.
Let's do it. All right. So I think for an input, we definitely want the
Username.
Twitter handle.
Okay.
And
The duration.
do we
like
want
a week, a month, a year?
Yeah, we do need like a date range. So let's
Put in a couple of dates. How does Twitter consume
hurts.
it? Is it a duration, a
That's-
start date, end date? What is
it wants a start date and an end date.
Okay, then we can mimic that
But we could just pass it a start date,
and assume the end date is today.
or do we just want to like assume that we want tweets for this year?
I mean, we're not building this for 50 million other people. We're building this for us.
All right, let's
Give
assume
us
we
the
want
from
tweets.
this year.
I don't really want to convert dates. Is really
I don't either. I don't want to spend the whole show on converting dates.
There's your out. I'm with you on that
one. So
you don't always have to be forward looking.
Wow.
No, that's wrong.
MVP program stands for minimum viable product.
All right. And let's set that to 100. That's what Twitter does with that. Is sets it to 100. All right. I am saving because that is what I do.
Jay says, you're definitely not looking forward. You're getting older. You're looking for the old record.
All right. I did click this button.
Oh, yeah. Max results would be a good idea.
Is
What's
the
going
instance sleeping a little today?
I guess so.
Andrew, are you influencing
Somebody, did we cache it?
Oh, the images didn't even load. What?
They're getting there.
That's rough.
We need to set up the credentials.
Oh, yes, we do.
Can I create a new one through here?
No.
Unfortunately.
Oh, that's the one thing missing from there.
Oh.
I'll have to have a talk with Josh.
All right. So
API key. First one.
Where's my? Oh, it's the first one.
That's the one I always use. I'm like anti-OAuth.
All right, we'll call this Twitter collection.
Okay.
You didn't need it, but I threw up the privacy shrubbery anyway.
Oh, thanks.
We haven't seen
nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
I wanted to press the button.
Make sure it still works.
Why? No, I don't want that. No, what did I just do?
You seem to be trying to create a connection.
Now you start sounding like Clippy.
That's what I want. What do we call this? Collection?
Sure. Okay. Then we need a new.
There we go.
It'll work. It'll work.
Is this API?
API.twitter.com
/ anything? I don't know.
It's going to be 1.1, but so something that we should mention is that Twitter has a new API that uses OAuth 2.0, which is really nice. But not all of their APIs have been converted over. So the one that we are using, the one that we are using has not been converted yet.
Tough crowd.
So yes. All right. We're here. So many tabs now. All right, so let's grab.
No.
Do I need to reload?
Save and reload.
Save, and it should pick it up after the
Well, that's
save.
true. That's true. And the guys in chat are getting a little twitchy.
Oh, you know
Chase,
what?
I didn't need to know that there's a clippy.js. And Mark, if you put clippy into VA, I'm going to zeboot that instance.
All right. So I think what we want is
You should save that for a hackathon, a clippy VA.
this. So this is the API for the full archive search. And then there are some query parameters. Well, let's look at the, and it'll tell us, right? API reference.
Was this document helpful?
We want this one.
Query from
yes.
to max results.
Yeah, so query from date to date, max results. I think is what we want here. So query, and then Twitter has a query syntax where if you're looking for who it was from, you use from, but you can get pretty complex with the queries, and they do an okay job of showing you how to do that. But we want
You keep it simple.
to say from Twitter handle. And then the next one, I believe, is max results.
So it feels like with your 100 max results,
that may be not enough.
Feels like you're going to need to do some pagination here.
Did someone say data stream?
Let's start with this and make sure that it works.
And get 100 results, and then we can convert it. But yeah, that seems reasonable.
So we have, I think there's from date and to date. Nope, that's a header.
And you put a default value in max results, right?
I did, yeah.
He took it from the inputs and put
it was on the, I thought
SI.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the date format is something like, so I did this in Postman already. This is what it wants as the date. So it's year,
Jan
4 years,
plus
month.
Seconds. All right.
Yeah, plus, because that's hours and seconds, yeah. And then it won't let you set a future date, but we can go beginning of today.
That seems reasonable, but you know,
12:01.
December 1 seems good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go for. I'm going to be unsafe.
Look at you.
Okay, I'm going to save because I've dragged things and typed things that I don't want to do again.
Save early, save often.
And then I think the only header we may need is the authorization header.
Yeah, the bearer token you need, right?
Yeah. So is
standard. And this is good to note because this is not an unusual setup for OAuth 1 is, and a lot of folks leave out that bearer token, the bearer part in the value.
No.
And until they figure it out after like a few tries. They're like, it works in Postman. Why doesn't it work here? And it's because Postman will insert that bearer part for you.
Brad, I think the C on content type needs to be uppercase. I've run into problems with case-sensitive headers.
Let's do it. All right, let's save. That icon did not load. This makes me nervous when the icons are not there. I don't know. Can we test this? Do you guys think this will work?
Test
Yes.
it. Let's do it.
Let's try
I
it.
have faith in you,
So,
Brad.
Let's see.
Yes, it's going to work because you already did the credentials, so that eliminates 90% of our problem. Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Yeah, this instance is dragging. I don't know what the...
That was a satisfying delay. Like
Yep.
that was an integration level amount.
That
of
wasn't
delay.
bad. Yeah.
No pink. No pink. No pink.
No whammies.
There we are. Let's look at the steps.
That's a dated reference.
The big bucks, no whammies.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we got some results.
200 statuses, no whammies. We love it.
That looks like JSON to me.
Yeah.
That looks
Nope.
that looks good.
Nope.
It looks like it's got some UTF-8 in there.
I don't know. Can we send this to the JSON parser?
I mean, Chuck's in there. Like this looks accurate.
Yeah.
There was a Yansa Labs, which was Durham. Like
This was a cool thing too. Their super slush
Andrew J.
bucket.
Barnes and at C. Tomasi. I see that. Yep.
All right.
If it's not Brad's content, it's somebody who it seems like Brad.
It's the Brad bot.
All right. So
You get a bunch of accolades on the chat for getting a hole in one. We don't get those often on this show.
So I mean, I did this in Postman already, so I knew I could make a successful REST call.
Which really is that is the way to go when you're setting up a new integration, is use something like Postman, which is a robust integration system, but it almost never is your failure point. It's so try out your integration, make sure you get that auth correct, connect to the thing, make sure there's nothing between you and that thing, and then that you're sending valid stuff over, and then move that into your code base or your platform. In our case, like whenever I'm building integrations, it doesn't matter where they are, I start with Postman to connect to the remote thing and then add in.
I usually start with curl. I'm old school.
Well,
yeah, so
same kind of thing.
That's basically the same thing,
right? You're removing ServiceNow as the potential source of issue. You're really starting with the basic, saying, "Can I connect? Do my credentials work?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a question on what kind of queries you can do, and the Twitter API docs have some attributes and operators in here that you can use, and then I think we'll see this when we do the JSON. We'll see, but there's a lot of data that comes over with just one tweet. Where are we at?
Mark was wondering if the analytics data came over as well. That's probably a different API.
Yeah, I suspect that's a different API.
What do I do first? Do I put that in there?
First, you should go get that example from the test execution.
Yep.
So switch over to your execution detail tab in Flow Designer.
Yes. That is right.
And get that payload there and then copy it.
I don't think I get the whole.
Yeah, it looked like it had a ... at the end. That doesn't look properly.
Probably too much in there.
Is there something in the other one of the other tabs, like the code?
That one looks like all of it.
No,
no, still. We could change this and just grab 1 or 2 tweets and then do that. Let's grab 2.
Yeah, like 4.
You're gonna have to watch your array delimiters and things.
All right, let's grab 4.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Let's grab Chuck's tweets.
You don't want those. I don't even show those to my wife.
I mean, they're public.
Oh, that's true.
That doesn't mean anybody's gonna see them.
That's true. That's true. Okay. That was a satisfying run length.
Oh, you don't
Oh,
exist.
no.
Oh, the JSON parser failed. That's okay.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't-
We put it in,
Sweet.
but we didn't tell it to do anything.
Max results must
Error.
be greater than or equal to 10. Oh, interesting.
They're like, you
can't say
can't, you
four.
can't
Oh, and you
talk to
can't
us
get more
unless
than
you want
100.
10.
Four, you're not a worthy citizen unless you have more than 10 things to tweet about.
Well, I guess let's grab 10.
If you don't want 10 of
Not
our
100.
things, go away. That's
Why?
kind of funny.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an integer, so it's a
that's
little,
right.
yeah, it doesn't let you go to nothing. Run. You've exceeded your number of connections to us. Go away. No.
Your rate limit's been exceeded.
That's possible.
That happens when you're doing dev. Sometimes you get a loop and it just goes nuts. And then you come back tomorrow. Uh-oh. Oh, it's still
Those
JSON.
are JSON parser again.
Yay,
There we go. There's some
200.
results.
I didn't
And
panic.
oh, come on.
How is it truncating on 4?
Oh, it's 10. We have to say 10.
Oh, 10.
Yeah.
Still 10.
You get a
They're
lot of data here.
character limited.
I've got, well,
Do you have
I'll
it
tell you
over in
this.
Postman?
I have it in Postman. Let me drag that over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
I
a
don't
good idea.
think nobody steal the first part of my bearer token.
The first part.
The first part.
Guess the rest.
You've narrowed down the entropy if you're the guessing for your bearer token.
So let's
A part was too tough to guess.
let's just grab 10 so that this is shorter. That ran faster. Here.
That really is not.
That's a
pushing
lot
it
of.
up.
So,
So-
but if you look at one tweet, there is a
Gives
lot.
you a lot of data. So
And you
Mark,
get
the
all of
answer
the
is
users'
yes
data. Yeah.
It's
to
like
your questions.
230 lines per tweet. Because you said 10 and it's up to line 2300.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Um,
Okay. Paste away.
All right.
That's when
Paste
Postman
away.
is nice. They are not a thin client.
It just cracks me up that a service that limits the amount of
40
text
characters. Yeah.
that you can send through it, like
That is funny.
so
when you
many times multiplies it when you actually query for one of those.
well,
Like,
they're generally, I mean, their standard APIs, you can only get 7 days worth of data. So I guess that's the.
I just mean they ballooned the amount of characters
yeah.
to like 1,000
Yeah.
for a thing that's limited to 280 characters of the stuff you could put in there. Like that's a lot.
They have a lot of metadata.
Yep. All right. Where do we go next?
Click generate target.
Target.
Target. Processing.
Oh, I shouldn't have dragged it.
Yeah,
while it
'cause
was
it's kinda long.
processing.
Processing.
Hey, it did some stuff. Let's look at it.
Root.
Collapse the side
Data panel.
panels.
Now in the target window. Yeah.
And then you can expand that out and see if it looks reasonable to you.
Results.
Results.
That's looking reasonable.
Results
Yay.
object.
So now all you need to do is in your source data field on the left at the top, pick the response body object
Ding.
and then hit save. And we should be ready. Hit save.
You will
We
get
should be ready to go.
you'll get an object on your flow data pill panel that says root.
It's true.
All
We're
right.
saving away. I'm gonna apparently gonna have to slip this instance a couple extra dollars to go a little faster.
forgot to pay
All right.
meter bill. Okay.
So
in action?
now we've got some stuff in here. All right, cool.
Do the outputs.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I
And-
think we just
You need your action outputs.
Yeah, now we link it up to the outputs because that's what we want is that we
Yeah.
want that whole object outputted, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So I think we want an array of objects, right? So we
Just
want
an
You want an object.
just an object.
Just an object.
Well, actually,
we
you
want
probably can
multiple
just do
tweets.
the array of objects
You could do the array of objects and then drill
and
into
just give it the root,
Yeah.
the array of objects level that's up below root because we don't actually need root. So do the array of objects. I vote.
All right.
Give it a
let's
try. Give it a try. I've had varied success here.
And now hit exit edit mode in the
Yep.
and then give it drill into root and give it the results.
Okay.
Right there.
And
It's
now you can
variable,
go
though.
back to edit outputs
Oh,
to
It
see
didn't.
if
it
it's
didn't
happy.
take it.
It's not doing anything yet. There we
It
go.
was thinking
Wow.
it's actually crafting all of the
My audio cut out for a second, so I knew it was doing something real serious. All right.
You're killing me today, Fred. I love it. So if you hit edit outputs, we could see now the structure
Let's-
of that and
Yeah.
make sure that we're happy with it.
I
And
do like that feature.
that looks good.
Yep.
Yeah, that is.
You
nice.
wanna
So
change
the
that?
reason that this took so long was because it was creating all of these variables when you drop that data pill in.
Yeah,
there.
that's true. That's true.
So it created however many this drills down into variables right there.
Do you want to change the variable label?
That seems polite.
Sure.
Results? I don't
Tweets.
know. Tweets.
Tweets. I like tweets.
There we go. We're not changing the data type. Save. One more test.
Well, that always makes me nervous, but okay.
I was like the one that says, you get this error message because you may have changed a variable name somewhere. Like, what?
All right. The save button was still green, so I was.
Here we go.
All right. So
in
let's
that
grab a
name.
subflow and.
Yep. As soon as this is done eating a sandwich, there we go.
All right. Let's create us a subflow here. Get tweets.
Get tweets. Tweedledee. Woo. Tweedledee.
But this needs to be not in our.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's funny that I caught that because history says that I do not catch those things.
Yeah, a betting man off data would have said that you don't catch that.
So I think I'm going to be passing this subflow a profile record.
Next time we have one of those situations, Andrew, we're gonna have to go like, oh, looks like you owe me $5 this time.
Oh, I want reference. And I'm going to want the, what did I call that? Oh, this is it. I'm terrible at naming tables, really generic things that also have 20 other
Request.
tables.
Request, task, profile.
And then do I want an output? I'm not sure I need an output right now. All right, so our first, I'm going to be good and say if Twitter handle
Empty. Not empty.
So let's make sure that the person has a Twitter handle.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Let's
Do
say
yourself
not
a little error checking.
I guess we will say it's not empty.
It looks funny, but that
it does
actually
work.
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It even says not empty. Oh, you probably typed that.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to publish our action, don't we?
You could turn it on draft.
Yeah, you can turn on the draft
Yeah.
chooser. But publishing is fine.
Let's publish
If
it.
you have faith that it's really working. We don't have time for another save.
Come on. I know I'm not going to save anymore because I want to get some records created based off tweets by the time we're done in the next 14 minutes.
And every save takes 3 minutes. Better hurry up or I'm going to start singing.
Come on. All right.
Just in time.
You got to collect all the tweets with the Twitter collector.
That's right.
Collect them all.
The Twitter vacuum. Slurp them up.
All right. So we got the tweets.
For each?
I think so. For each.
For each tweets.
We're going to.
Now, creator update? Do we have a unique ID in there?
Yeah, there is an identity. Each tweet has an identifier. So we'll do
you have a
creator
corresponding like correlation ID or something in that record? We can plop that into?
Yeah, there's an ID field on that
Perfect.
data collection record. All right. We don't have a template. We have ID. And for each is 3. That's 3. All right, that's right.
ID. Oh,
so
ID.
Hey, there we go.
String.
I think we actually want. Oh, they're the same. Okay. There's a determines uniqueness.
That'll be your coalesce field. Now let's go forth with the rest.
And then there's a timestamp field that we're going to ignore for right now.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Category is Twitter. So we want the text.
So we've got a few newcomers. So I'm going to catch them up real quick.
Go ahead.
We have created a integration with Twitter to get some archive data for 2020 for Twitter users to collect the tweets for our MVPs. So our developer MVP program, which if you scroll up in the comments, you can get to the developer site and blog in which we talk about the MVP program. And so Brad has been creating this integration and we've connected and we've got the data. And so far we haven't done any scripting, and we're using Flow Designer in Integration Hub to both create this integration with the Integration Hub part with the action that we created. And now we're in a flow in which we're iterating over the results from that integration to save that data into the instance.
That is crazy. All right. I think that's good for now. I am going to want the Twitter does grab hashtags, but there is some sort of array of hashtags in here somewhere that All right. I want to see if we can create these records off these tweets.
Yeah, do a basic one, then we can figure out if there's something else we need to fill in.
Okay. That
All
sounds
right.
good.
I think that'll do it.
Famously.
Save it.
That
Run it.
should work. Every developer. It looks good to me.
Ship it. We're an agile shop. We'll just adjust it later.
Uh-oh. What happened?
I randomly clicked on the trash can, which maybe not
Oh,
my best
no.
moment.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to run this in the background because
You
my
wanna watch the
experience with this instance.
Well, and you could also
on
watch
this
the
show.
record. Go over to your profile.
Well, that's a good point.
That's my number one reason
go.
for running in the background. It's like, this is going to take a while.
Let's see what happens. Well,
Still slow.
Still
You
slow.
still only get one thread between the background and the
our
front.
note is like, I know it's you. I know you're the same person. That's not promising.
And okay.
Let's see.
It's getting scary. Just go down to the related list and click the filter, the breadcrumb. That's your list refresh. This is getting a little unnerving at this point. There's slow instant, then there's broke instance.
Yeah,
It says-
we're not hesitant to call out things here on this team.
That's what you wanna say?
We love the platform, and we're okay pointing out some of the places. When you tell this to run in the background, it actually deprioritizes it, and so much so that it is in the past couple of weeks when I've done this. It's taken 20 seconds before it picks up that at all.
Okay, so it says you're in no hurry if you're running in the back.
You are not in a hurry.
You don't
I'm
really
going to
need this.
super deprioritize this. So
Wow.
it's not
Okay.
unexpected for it to take a little while. Once you've told it to, yeah, I don't need this right
Can
now.
we cancel it?
2 minutes ago seems about right.
Yeah. Why?
Open it up.
Oh, where did we go?
It says it was done. We didn't get any records.
Yeah.
Okay, something's
All right. Let's just.
Yeah. Open up that execution. Maybe.
gonna do the
Oh.
same thing.
So it might be that.
Did we hit
it was
a?
done?
Did we hit a rate limit
A
or something?
timeout or something? Or
Yeah, but we should get.
we should get.
Oh, there we
something.
go.
Hey, there it is. Yeah. So
93.
93
93x, loop throughs.
Open her up.
And create the records.
Okay.
Did it
didn't
not
create the
attach
record.
it to yours? Go open up data collectors.
That is it.
There-
That
open
is
Open up data
it.
collectors.
Oops.
Yeah. And then remove the filter.
Oh,
Bam.
Happens all the time. You win that one, Andrew.
all right.
We've all done it.
We can fix that.
Let's not run in the background again.
Okay.
Yeah. No one else is on this instance. We're not going to do
Whoa.
anything else.
What? Why did I?
Add field value.
All right. I think I typed too fast.
Profile. There you go.
And
Subflow
then
input.
it's gonna be
Yay.
this one.
Yes. How many times I've done that? I can't count.
I think we
No.
want.
Don't check that.
Yeah.
Will it
only
not do
one,
a coalesce on
only
both?
one check. Yeah, I would think only one check for me.
You don't need it. I mean, if it's going to hook it up, it's going to hook it up.
Yeah.
Do you want to
There
go?
should only be one ID, period.
All right.
Do you want to delete the bogus records?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it should run back through and read and associate with them, right? Because it's doing an
because they have
update.
the same ID. This should fix
Yeah,
it.
it should update
yeah.
them. It should fix them.
Yes, because it's a creator update. Good call. Self-correcting code.
that's
Self-correcting data.
that's definitely not a truism.
I can think that way.
All right.
My data is auto-correcting.
Please
Uh-oh.
provide a
Field
value.
value
Sometimes
for a
it.
file. Yeah, it
Oh,
gets,
right. If you select the same one. I've seen
Yeah.
that before. I chose it worked last time.
gets a little
Marks of
testy with
matches.
that. And so it took 65 seconds, I think it said the execution
Okay.
time was. So let's not
We
get
should-
worried before
We
65
should
seconds.
still make it.
Let's not, don't freak out before a minute goes by.
Is somebody counting for us?
No, I have a built-in timer. It's my superpower. I'll let you know. Jordan
mean,
says, I just love Flow Designer. It's so neat. Look how easy it is to understand what's going on. Tried doing this not in Flow Designer and coming back and maintaining it 5 years from now. I agree.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we don't have any, I don't have like 2,000 lines of code that somebody's going to need to come poke through. It's
This
all
used to
right
be,
there.
yeah, this was a pretty hefty script include a couple years
Yeah.
ago. We've done that. It's not fun. I did that.
I mean,
discovered
it's
that
fun the first 10 times I do it.
I just came back because my Todoist API is broken. That was all done in script. And I went, I'm not fixing that, because they upgraded from like version 7 to version 8. And they totally rejected my requests for version 7. I said, I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to redo it in Flow. I'm going to redo it in Integration Hub.
Phil's got a really good question, which is,
Mhm.
do we have any guidelines around when we create a subflow? And the answer is, Phil, I create almost everything as a subflow.
Yep.
Yes.
Anytime I'm actually building like the flow logic, I'm creating that as a subflow. And then, so I treat subflows as like a superset of actions that are grouped together.
Yep.
And then I'll create a flow that has a trigger that just invokes my subflow sometimes. And that's all my flow does is invoke one subflow. But it allows me the flexibility to invoke that subflow, the actual like connective logic from anywhere, not just a flow.
Yeah. With the Flow API.
With the Flow API. So,
Yep.
So the answer is almost everything I create is a subflow.
That's right.
It's a better stack to build on. Oh, hey, you get this.
Brad
All right.
Tilton's
So it
top
worked.
93.
Not
And-
all of them have text, because I think what we are actually pulling is every Twitter interaction.
Oh,
so
the
these
likes.
might be like likes
Oh,
and retweets.
Likes and okay.
So I
that
think
makes
we
sense.
probably want to, well,
You
we
prob-
probably want to
Build a
record
filter.
this.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we would just kind of filter these and do some other things with them. But, we grabbed data from Twitter and created records in ServiceNow with it. And we did not write any code on this live coding happy hour episode, which is kind of
Oh.
crazy.
It worked so well. We're gonna have to
I
show-
think that's a screen share shutdown.
Where's the challenge? We got to make
All
this
right.
a 30-minute show.
I am no longer sharing.
I noticed all
Nice.
the URLs were empty as well, so we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, something happened there. We probably just grabbed the wrong data pill for that.
Nicely done.
Nicely done, Brad. So that was great. So the prep work we did, so to tell you, how it was made, was Brad did create a Twitter developer account. He set up the environment there and the app. So he had to create an app there and then an environment and get an authorization token. And then he tested it in Postman just to make sure he could connect with that. And then that's where we started the show. And our use case was we need to collect a year's worth of data for a given user. And so we fired up Flow Designer. We, created a new spoke. That spoke contains one action right now, which is get tweets for a user. We pass it in a Twitter user and a max results. And then what we get back is an array of objects of interactions at this point. So they could be tweets, they could be likes, they could be retweets. And we stored that into a ServiceNow table. The next step we need to do is be able to collect more than 100 of those interactions. But that is a fairly easy, like, next step that we can take. And pretty great, Brad, that you did that without having to code anything. So you created
Yeah.
that spoke and then the subflow to consume that, which then wrote that to the ServiceNow tables, and you did all of that in the drag and drop interface, which is pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, and Casey has a good point in the chat. I was going to mention this, but there is a Postman template for any of the Twitter 2.0 APIs. So if you want to get in and test the Twitter API, we used a 1.1 API, so that's not set up for you already in Postman. But all of their 2.0 APIs, you can just go in there and basically you're just clicking check boxes and that sort of thing to get it to work.
yeah, and that's great that Twitter is providing that for Postman to be consumed, um, and get you going. I love a developer program that helps to get you going, and hopefully our developer program is helping you, the ServiceNow developers, get going in what you're doing. So, Brad, that was awesome. But now you need to tell us how your beer was.
Yeah, so I have this office party holiday stout, and it's a stout with some Christmas spices in it, and it was really good. I'm going to give it a 4.25. It was nice.
That's shocking. I don't think I've had a Christmas beer that gets above a 4.
It was good.
Nice. And Chuck, how was your Dos Equis?
No, Modelo Negro.
Modelo, I'm sorry.
They're close, but Dos Equis gives me a headache. This is good. I very satisfying, standard go-to beer. I also give it a 4.25.
Nice. And my pumpkin beer was I'm actually not big on pumpkin flavored things usually. So it did its job. It it was an imperial, and it was pretty good. I think it caps out for me on pumpkin flavor, period. Like, just because there's a cap that you can go, and I think that's a 3.75. Just for pumpkin flavoring. I try them out. I want to see if they're good.
Yeah.
But he reached the ceiling of his area.
Where pumpkin beers are concerned, that's a 5.
Yeah, where pumpkin beers are concerned, that's a 5. They knocked it out of the park. I didn't think it could be that good, so they went all the way to the top. So good job there.
He is
beer.
rate limiting on his pumpkin beers.
There is rate
That's
limiting.
I
on pumpkin
don't
beers.
I don't love pumpkin beer flavor either. So.
Yeah. So that was awesome. We shall have one more show that we know of for the rest of the year, which will be next week, and we will be having it at a slightly unusual time. We haven't set that yet, but we'll get it posted to the YouTube channel early enough that you'll know when it is, because we will have it at probably earlier time so that it can be India friendly, because once we change the time, we might as well reach our second biggest crowd. And anything else to share before we drop off, Chuck or Brad?
There are a lot of developer meetups coming up next week and the following week. So keep your eye on meetup.com/pro/ServiceNow Dev Program. There's conflicts between DC and Phoenix. If you have to make choices, we have a lot of meetups coming. It's ridiculous. As I mentioned earlier, there's another Breakpoint episode coming up on Wednesday, the 9th, with Josh Narius. So if you enjoyed this about Integration Hub, you're going to enjoy that.
We love Josh.
Yeah. Former developer advocate. I think he was one of the founding fathers of the live coding happy hour and the developer program. So look forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. We have a Tech Now coming up on the 15th, so you don't want to miss that. bit.ly/TN82reg is where you want to go to learn about instance data replication is going to be the topic for that.
Ooh,
So I
IDR.
believe all of these and more are on the events page on the developer portal. Go to, what is it, share? No, not share.
Connect.
Connect. That's what it is. And then there's events under there.
How about the new integration video series?
Oh, right. Wow. Almost.
I did get that
ahead.
released this week.
Yes.
To this very channel, there's a playlist specifically for integrations that Chuck has put together. He's done an amazing job. There's more videos to come, but the first 14 should wet your whistle. They're by different types, and they're really quite good. So
They are.
thank you, Chuck, for building
Teamwork.
those.
You guys did a lot of the proofreading and the validating to make sure that, subtitles weren't off the screen or something crazy. So it really was a team effort. I'm just the smiling face in front of the camera. So go watch that. Yeah,
not
you're right.
true.
It's
Yeah.
blog post on the developer blog community blog post in the developer community. You shouldn't have a problem finding that. If you do, bit.ly/sn-learn-integrations, and you can find all that information there.
But if you're here, it's really easy. You click the channel and then go to the playlist.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you're here already. Click the
true.
ServiceNow Developer Program channel name and then click the playlist for integrations. It's the top one. And we hope you have a most wonderful day wherever you are and whenever you're viewing this. And we will see you next time. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.